What I do is I visit construction sites throughout New South Wales, particularly in the area around the northern beaches and Central Coast. I visit those construction sites that usually have some problems or some issues. We try and provide a great deal of advice to our clients rather than take an enforcement action or approach. So the advisory approach is what WorkCover's been doing for some years now, and effectively what I do is go into workplaces, provide them advice to improve their risk management systems, improve their workplaces and stay in business. The difficulties in staying in business in New South Wales, most businesses go broke in the first 3 years, and we go out there to try and make sure that those businesses in the building industry understand their obligations and assist them with those obligations so they can present themselves better to their clients and stay in business and provide more employment. What I do is I started out a long time ago as a carpenter and clerk of works and a few other odds and ends before I got into being an inspector. So I cover mostly the area that I specialise in is height safety, asbestos and demolition, the things that injure you or kill you quickly. They're the things I tend to concentrate on. The construction industry is a very dangerous industry, has the same type of injuries constantly, and we're always concentrating on falls, electrical, struck by falling objects, plant and machinery, structural collapse. They're the things that we look at on a daily basis. Today I've come in to do a presentation on asbestos, what you need to do and what you need to know. So we spent about 50 minutes on the presentation today. We had a pretty good roll-up of people, mixed group. Some were contractors, some were builders, some were owner builders. So what we're trying to do is provide that information to them, owner builders, tell them what their obligations are, assist them with being able to do small removals, and then talk to our contractors about their obligations and how they go about things, along with trying to provide them with some more information about the new WHS legislation that came in on the 1st of January 2013 and their ability to be able to comply with that. A lot of those contractors have thought that they should throw everything out that they had last year and start all over again, but that's not really the case. Risk management's still in, they're still able to use the documents that they've already got. They just need to improve their risk management and their work method statements, do it a little bit more in consultation with their staff and others. WorkCover sponsors the safety show, and we have sponsored it for a number of years now. We try to get as much information out there as we can. We try to get our clients together so that they can understand one another, understand each other's business, what's available for them, and we like to get around to those clients, encourage them to talk to one another, encourage them to use new and innovative approaches to managing safety in their workplace. A lot of companies have not progressed for about the last 10 years, and this type of show gives them an opportunity to come along and see some good exhibitors, some new stuff, have a lot of good conversations with people that really know what they're talking about. What we've done is we've changed the legislation to national legislation now as of the 1st of January. So what that means is the systems that we had in place under the old OHS Act can still be used under WHS. There's not as stringent requirements as there were previously, but the systems that they've spent their time and their money and their effort in getting up and running are still useful, very useful for what they've got now, and still able to enable them to comply with the WHS Act. What we can do is provide advice in many different areas. Right? We can provide advice through the website, through 131050, which is our helpline. They can basically ring up and find out most information from our information officers. They'll then, if they can't provide those answers, they'll provide them contact with their technical officer, and every day throughout the year, 365 days a year, we have an inspector on call, on a duty phone, on a roster system, and at any time a client can ring up, ask for some advice, be it construction, manufacturing, wood, lathes, anything. And we're happy to provide that advice. One of the things that we have done this year is we've started to provide a lot more workplace advisory visits. So with our clients, they can ring up or they can go online and fill in an application form to have an inspector come out and talk to them about their specific workplace and what they can do to improve safety in their specific workplace. That's free, it's a free service, and believe you me, we like to get out and about, we like to see our clients and we like to see them in their workplace. Much better than having an office environment or anything like that, particularly with construction sites, they move so quick. So yeah, a lot of advice and more than happy to come out and have a chat. Businesses in New South Wales need to take a risk management approach to the way they manage their business. Risk management and safety is no different to the risk management approach you take in relation to managing your business or managing money. It's all basically the same thing. What you're trying to do is identify a hazard or a possible loss and figure out how you're going to manage it better, how you're going to train your people so that they can manage it themselves out in the field. So effectively, with businesses in New South Wales, they need to adopt a risk management approach. There needs to be a lot more consultation with staff. And staff, members of the public, other clients that are involved, and a clear understanding of what the client wants or what your employees are able to do, or your workers in New South Wales, improves health and safety for their industry. So, other than that, there's a lot of new information, there's a lot of new advice available for them. Safe work method statements is something that they really need to work on in New South Wales. They're basically a 10-point plan on how you would approach a job, how you would manage the safety in relation to that. So what you're doing is going through identifying a process, you're looking at the hazards that's in relation to a particular task, and then trying to manage those risks. You're trying to minimise the risks in order to try to engineer them out. That's one of the things that Safety Show is very good at, and providing information to clients. This gives you engineering solutions for some of your problems. You're not trying to manage them with some administrative controls, you're actually trying to engineer out the problem before it begins. So consultation in New South Wales is the biggest thing. We need to consult with our employees, all others. We need to build better risk management systems, a far better and far more concise, planned approach to the way they do their work. Planning in the beginning stops a lot of rework towards the end and reduces the risk of injury. Responsibility is a shared responsibility in the workplace. Effectively, the employer, or now what we call the PCBU, the person concerned with the business or undertaking, they have the principal responsibility to supply or provide a safe workplace. But it's also the employer or the worker's responsibility to assist, to be able to bring to the attention of the employer if there is an issue and they notice a hazard or they notice something that's going wrong, they have a responsibility as well. They need to assist as much as they can and provide as much information back to their employer or their PCBU to assist him in his ability to provide a safe workplace. Ultimately, it's everybody's responsibility to provide a safe workplace, to cooperate and to assist. We've had some significant changes in legislation in New South Wales in January this year, 2013. What we've done is we've taken it to a national level. We now have laws that throughout all the states in New South Wales. You don't have a different set of laws in the ACT as to what you have in New South Wales. What we have is a concise and a clear set of rules that we're working to throughout Australia. It's the same with the licensing requirements that we have. We've now taken them across all the state borders, and we've also done that with licensing. So what we now have is a national system. It doesn't have any borders anymore. You can bring one licence from Victoria into New South Wales and travel on to Queensland. We have what we call mutual recognition for CIC cards, construction induction cards, and all other certification is basically recognised by one state or another. You need to check with that state that they do have that list, because some states did not have particular licences at times and still haven't been able to recognise those licences because effectively they never had them before. Challenges for businesses in relation to the way they use safety to monitor their business to produce a better business. One of the things we try to sell to our clients is that safety is a good risk management approach to managing their business. It stops rework. If you roll safety and quality together, what you end up with is a quality process that doesn't produce risk, reduce rework, and enables businesses to survive. Most businesses go broke in the first 3 years, and that's usually because they haven't quite finished the things that they'd started in year one. They're sent back to do that, and that's usually what sends them broke. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to say to them, risk management is a good business management. If you adopt the same policies, the same processes, than managing money, managing safety, you'll have a better outcome. A better outcome for your business and a far better outcome for your workers.